President Trump's security detail leader, the #1 guy protecting the boss. And the boss liked him so much, he installed him in a political White House job. That broke every Secret Service tradition in the book because he stayed as a Secret Service employee, but Trump essentially had him directing the Secret Service to make sure that all of his campaign events, all of his photo ops, everything he wanted to do to get reelected went off without a hitch. Tony Ornato was the secret hand behind all of that. And that's what Trump wanted. Trump White House staffers and Secret Service agents have told me repeatedly he's a Trump acolyte. He will defend the president to the end, and he remains in contact with Trump world. So I want to stress that also Tony Ornato has indicated to his bosses that this story Cassidy Hutchinson told didn't happen. Well, Tony Ornato has said a lot of things didn't happen. He has tried to say to the press and to me indirectly that the clearing of Lafayette Square was not done for President Trump's photo op. Well, that's not true. He was at the center of that.
Washington Post reporter there, Carol Leonnig, she's talking about the back and forth and actually biases and loyalties that are beginning to come to light as this whole entire breakdown happens off of Cassidy Hutchinson's a testimony about the things that Donald Trump and his cohorts were involved with on January 6th, specifically now with Tony Ornato, who's the one who told her the story about what was happening in the SUV. So you actually, at this point, we kind of never know what his truth is. Was it what he said quietly behind the scenes that we just got revealed, or is it what he's now saying openly to try and protect him? There's reasons why he might be protecting. Let's go to some details. Because the former White House aide testified that Ornato, who moved from the Secret Service to Deputy Chief of Staff, told her that Trump became irate when a security detail would not take him to the Capitol on January 6th and lunged for the steering wheel. We heard about this story. It's been talked about consistently. Again, in case some people didn't realize this, Ornato told Hutchinson that story secretly and quietly. Not any kind of, hey, you guys, make sure you take this to MSNBC. It was between the two of them, and she relayed it at her testimony. More. So in the interview with MSNBC, she said a very large contingent of Donald Trump's detail who were personally cheering for Biden to fail. A very large contingent of Donald Trump's detail were cheering for it. More. Some of them even took to their personal media accounts to cheer on the insurrection and the individuals riding up to the Capitol as patriots. That is problematic. I'm not saying that Tony Ornato or Bobby Engel did that, but they are viewed as being aligned with Donald Trump, which cuts against them. However, if they do testify under oath, this is what happened, quote unquote. I think that it's going to be important. So that reporter the reporter that started this whole thing out, Carol Leonnig, she continues on. Let's watch more.
The Secret Service often tries to deny things that are unflattering. And then when the rubber hits the road, we learn there's a little bit more to it. I want to give always everyone the benefit of the doubt. And if Tony Ornato testifies under oath that he exaggerated this story to Cassidy Hutchinson and it didn't happen in the limo, forgive me, in the Suburban on January 6th, as she relays, then that's important and we should take that seriously.
So if you want to deny it now, you're gonna have to deny it under oath, and you're gonna have to also say why you told that story in the first place. What are your thoughts, Ray?
I think it's refreshing to hear someone voicing this, especially the emphasis on that he should go speak under oath, testify under oath, because a lot of, and I'm not a journalist, so this is not necessarily my area of expertise, but I've seen a lot of journalists sort of, uncritically republish what he claimed, was an exaggeration. He was him saying, I exaggerated this. And then also say what was testified to by Cassidy Hutchinson, and then just say, well, who knows? Right? You should know. It's your job. You're an investigative journalist. Do the investigating. But also, one of those was, sworn testimony under oath and penalty of perjury. The other one is just someone trying to, cover his ass after he did something that would damage his relationship with Trump. Like, it seems pretty wobbly to me to be reporting, especially the outlets who sort of said this is a direct refutation of her testimony, and we should take his word because he was there. But it's like, It's just been really suspect to me.
My man has not testified yet.
Yeah,
you can say anything you want to the media. You can say anything you want on Twitter. Those things aren't under oath. Now, by the way, most people don't give a damn about if they're under oath or not, because none of these folks that say they believe in God actually do. But that's beside the point, because this is what this moment is being used for. For anyone who is watching it and trying to find some kind of way to be like, oh, but I gotta defend Donald Trump somehow. Like, oh my God. So Tony Ornato and then a Secret Service agent said, no, that didn't happen. A reach up to the front of the SUV. So what does that have to do with the fact that he knew that his supporters had guns, weapons there, and he said, bring them in, I want them to fill the ellipse, and then march down to the Capitol? What does that have to do with that? Also, that he knew he had lost the election, and then he continued on with this lie. What does that have to do with this? Also, that his Pat Cipollone, who his White House counsel told him, hey, if we do this, we're gonna be hit with all kinds of charges. All kinds of charges. What does that have to do with him reaching towards the front of the SUV? The 18 things that Cassidy Hutchinson broke down and exposed from all these folks, from Rudy Giuliani to Mark Meadows and all their responses, that as this whole thing went down that whole day, and how Trump also didn't want them to pull back from their attack. What does that have to do with him then lunging towards any Secret Service agent? Now, I still think that's a very strong possibility that it happened. I don't care what people are saying on the side, but even if that was the case, what does that have to do with the rest of this testimony that's so damning and actually points to the finger about what it is that we have a problem with? Donald Trump executing this plan to try and take over and overturn this election. Make those explanations, because they're gonna use this one moment of someone saying something randomly and not even saying it under oath as, oh my God, it blows the whole lid off of everything she said. Why? What does that have to do with it? They won't answer that question because it has nothing to do with all of the rest of it.